Thanks for the support as a channel member, Jack Sorbers. Well, after all of the excitement of Non-League to Legend over the last couple of days, we are now back in the Leicester save in its new 11 a.m. slot. This is where we're going to be now through until the end of this series in the 11 o'clock slot. Not necessarily every single day, but most days at 11 o'clock. I reckon you're probably safe to pencil it into your diary for most days. And not only are we back, we're also doing something in this video we have never before done on YouTube. We're facing some team called, I don't need to just, they're called LOLLUJO? Hello and welcome to part 17 of the Leicester Save. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we face West Brom in the Premier League and Lazio in the Champions League knockout round. See, I do know how to say it. I've just never, ever, ever played them before on YouTube in any series ever. Since you're last with me, we've had a really rather nice time. As you can see, we went on a long unbeaten run, or in fact winning run, which was abruptly stopped by Liverpool in the second leg of the EFL Cup semi-final. This whole thing was a little bit ridiculous, really. In the middle of the winning run, we beat Liverpool 4-0 in the first leg, and it's like, yeah, we're fine. We're gonna win everything. We beat Liverpool 3 times in 4 games. A 2-0 win in the league. No, sorry, a 2-0 win in the FA Cup, the 4-0 win in the EFL Cup, and then we went to Anfield and beat them 2-0 in the league as well. At that point, we thought we were going to take over the world. We'd exorcised the demons of when they put 8 past us last year. And then we went back to their place again at the end of the month in the second leg of the semi-final. Lost 5-1 and then lost on penalties after a 5-5 aggregate score. And off the back of that, we were only able to get a 2-2 draw away against Bournemouth. Momentum killed like a stone by a big result and a big performance from Liverpool. Not ideal. We have also gone through the January transfer window. We haven't felt the need to bring anybody in ourselves, but we have started collecting back up some of the money that we've been spending over the last 18 months or so. I don't think I ever told you we sold Kevin and Babu to Arsenal, but back in August, we sold Kevin and Babu to Arsenal. We've also now sold Under to Lille for 12.75 million. Hamza Chowdhury has gone to play in China. A very young retirement for him at 24 years old. That he's gone to play for Guangzhou Evergrande for £35 million. There's been a couple of players go out on loan as well, but he's probably the big one. That actually means this season we're running at a transfer profit at the moment. We won't look at what happened the year before, but we are slowly but surely rebuilding the damage that we've done to the club finances. Yes, there's still going to need to be regular Champions League football and probably several seasons of selling more than we spend. That's a good sentence. But at the moment, it's not desperate. And I can live with that. And we've managed to fast track our progress to the point where we're very much in a title race now. Only 5 points behind Manchester United. With, 14 games still to go, 5 points behind them. We're in the title race. And also, obviously, still in the Champions League as well, which we will hopefully make progress in. Because I can't imagine us losing against a team like Lazio. Ever. In any series ever. But first up, West Brom in the league as we look to get back into winning ways, and this is the team we're going with. We've got Donnarumma in goal, a back four of Castagna, Felipe, Soyuncu and Pereira, Rice at the base of the midfield, Tielemans and Aouar ahead of him, and then Origi, Belotti and Neres are our front three. Let's get into the game and let's hopefully, like I say, get back to winning ways. It's been a little bit disappointing after that long run, how we performed against Liverpool, and then it probably even more so against Bournemouth. We've just kind of collapsed a little bit. So I don't know if this is the right team talk. We've been given a lot of credit lately. I kind of want to pump the fists. I think we're going to go with recent form standings, have them in 12th while we're in second. Let's show them why. Because I think we do need to remember we had been in incredible form, but the incredible form is not really any use to us if we don't continue it, because we were probably going to finish in a Champions League spot anyway. The form that we've been on has inserted us into a title race. There's no point in that. It's only being there for a few days. We were actually top of the league very, very briefly. But obviously United now continuing their winning run and playing the game in hand that they had means that they've now gone back above us and started to pull out a little bit of a gap. So we want to go back there. We'd love to win the league this year. I'm thinking we're probably going to do one more season of the Leicester save, regardless of what happens. I think we're right from the start. We always said 3 seasons. And I think 3 seasons is what we're looking for, even though Non-League to Legend is now up and running, which if you haven't checked Non-League to Legend out yet, you should probably go and check Non-League to Legend out. It's going to be wonderful fun this year. But yeah, I'm thinking 3 seasons. And if I was writing a script for this, we'd win the league this year and the Champions League next year. But unfortunately, Football Manager is really inconvenient and doesn't let you plan to that extent, which is very frustrating as a creator. But Belotti's read the script and rounds the keeper and puts us ahead after 3 minutes. That's a 24th goal of the season now for Belotti. There were a couple of raised eyebrows when I signed Belotti in the summer, having already had Vardy, tried to replace him with Edouard and failed. And it was like, oh, do you really need another striker, Kev? Vardy's not injured anymore. You saw how good he was last year. Yeah, but now you can see how good Belotti is this year. He has been absolutely fantastic from the moment he arrived. And that's his 24th goal. And that puts us back up to within touching distance of Manchester United. 2 points off the top of the table as things stand is awesome. A ball over the top from West Brom from the free kick, but Donnarumma is there just to collect that up really rather comfortably and launch it forward, looking for Origi. And Origi plays it back into Aouar, who's released Castagna on this left-hand side, and he's got options in the middle. Belotti is obviously going to be one of them. He goes for Origi instead, and Origi goes past his man, and he's won a penalty. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Ref, just give the penalty. You don't need to go over to the VAR. Every penalty decision is VAR. It's not necessary. That one was a penalty as clear as day, but we are going to the VAR, and what do you know? We've got the penalty. It's going to be Belotti to take as he goes for number 25 of the season, as I start to choke on my own goal scoring prowess. What's just happened there? I've got a little bit of a cold. I got a little bit of a blocked nose, and I think I just tried to stifle a sneeze, and it came out as, yeah, you've not got words anymore, Kev. I need a sip of my coffee. So unprofessional, but you know what? It's been a busy couple of weeks, and now I've got my annual little bit of a cold, which hopefully isn't going to be as much of a pain in the backside as it has been in previous years, where I've got to... Long-time viewers will know, we get to this time of the year, and because I used to work out in the garage, not work out in the garage, I used to work in my garage. As you can see, I don't really work out. But because I was working out in the garage, as soon as I got the cold, I never got rid of the cold. And as soon as you'd have like 3 or 4 months of the year where every video is just constant jump cuts because I'm cutting out sniffs and coughs and stuff like that. I'm hoping now I'm working indoors next to a radiator and a window and all of these fancy little luxuries that I have now. I'm hoping that, I've got a cold, but I'm hopefully going to kick it a little bit quicker than I normally do. Neres charging through into the penalty area, but the ball is taken off him. And it's back with Tielemans and then Rice, who plays it out to Ricardo Pereira. A little bit overhit from Rice, but Pereira does well to keep it in. And it ends up back with Pereira, who now gives it back to Rice, just telling him to have another go. He plays it back to Soyuncu, who finds Rice. Then Tielemans with a ridiculous pass from Tielemans and an even more ridiculous goal from Aouar. How can that possibly be that man's first goal of the season when he's capable of something like that? Absolutely stunning finish. I think the pass from Tielemans might have been even better, though, because of the accuracy, the pace, the fact that it's his first touch. Origi nods it down beautifully, knows just where Aouar is, and that's 4-0 to Leicester on 38 minutes. And we've not played this save for a day or two, but we're back with a bang now, and we're showing that we mean business for the rest of this season. We're going to win it all this year, boys and girls. We've got okay, I'll do that one. Sometimes these assistant recommendations are a little bit iffy. We're 4-0 up. Obviously, the right thing to do is to say, well done, lads. You're doing really well. I don't think they need further encouragement at 4-0 up. Rice to Castagna. Rice again. Back to Tielemans and now Aouar. And then Neres, who tries to have the shot from the edge of the area, but can't quite get it past the West Brom defender. It's back with Declan Rice again, who's had a very, very solid game today. Really coming into his own now as the defensive midfielder. Indeed, he's been away on international duty throughout the whole of January. So Declan Rice has had an extended run in the team as a defensive midfielder. I don't think it's a coincidence that Rice's extended run as the defensive midfielder has been that run of form that we've been on, because Rice has been very, very good. It's also allowed me to get Soyuncu back into the team at the back. And Ndidi, despite, I mean, when he went away, he was clearly one of our star men. He was one of the first names on the team sheet when we did the full strength team. But I'm looking at it now and thinking, where do I put Ndidi back in this team? Is he on the bench? Is he still away? Kaskev picked this team several days ago. But yeah, no sign of Ndidi back yet. I don't know where I fit him in. I mean, obviously he'll still play in rotation. We have lots of players who do get lots of games, even though they're not necessarily nailed on first 11 for cup finals. I think Declan Rice might be my nailed on first 11 defensive midfielder, I think. Right, we're going to take off Tielemans and we're going to take off Neres, and just, I mean, what a set of substitutions we're able to make now. We've just brought Sanchez and Barnes off the bench. Maddison and Vardy still down there, just sitting on the bench, waiting. They know they're going to get their turn. Barnes has started playing a few games out on the right recently, so I'm quite happy for him to be out there. We're going to drop a little bit of praise now, as I notice that there's a little splash of a coffee stain on my monitor right next to where the shout button is. I don't really know why it's there. I hope it's coffee. Really hope it's coffee. Right, we're going to bring Johnny Evans on for these last few minutes because Castagna's dropped below a 7, and we won't have that. We need to make the players realise if they drop below a 7, they get hauled off the pitch. It's unacceptable to be below a 7 in this Leicester team when we're playing this well. But there we have it, a very comfortable victory. Hopefully, gives us our momentum back as we look ahead to Lazio, trying to right some hypothetical historical wrongs. Not saying there may have been a defeat against Lazio in the past. If there ever was, I certainly don't remember one. But hopefully, by the end of this video, all we'll remember is beating them comfortably. So a couple of changes for the Lazio game. Then Sanchez comes into the midfield to go alongside Tielemans. We've had to bring in Evans at left back as well due to an injury to Castagna. And Ndidi is now back from international duty, so now needs to start the process of trying to force his way back into a team. But that's a midfield that Calvin Phillips and James Maddison are also finding it quite hard to get into at the moment. What you'll notice there on the bench as well is Edouard is now fully recovered from his broken leg that was a major setback for him last year. Have I done a team talk here? Where does team talks don't happen yet? Pick up where you left off last time out. Lovely, lovely. But not only is he back, he's now happy to stay, and actually a little bit miffed that I offered him out in January. So I've potentially slightly upset him again, but he wasn't in any of our squads in the first half of the season because I was trying to get rid of him and he'd broken his leg at the end of last year and he wasn't fully fit, and I wanted to send a message that he wasn't going to be here, trying to sell him, all that kind of stuff. So he wasn't in the squads, but in January, offered him out, accepted an offer for him. He didn't want to go. He wants to stay at Leicester. I spoke to him. Oh, what a goal from Origi. He doesn't want to leave. So I've kind of accepted it and put him back into the squad. And we've got Edouard back in the mix. He's a long way down the pecking order. Obviously, as a striker, he's got Belotti, Vardy and Origi all ahead of him. But if he can play his way back into the team and force his way past players who can do stuff like that, we'll have another. I mean, I know, and anyone who watched the Manchester United save I did last year knows how good Origi can, Edouard can be. Just he wasn't for us because he was never happy. He was never settled here because I lied to him to get him through the door. But now he's got all his dreams have come true. He wanted loads of really good attackers, and we've got that now. So if he can force his way into the team, lovely, lovely, lovely. I don't know what I was worried about with this game against Lazio. I'd heard rumours they were quite hard to beat in European ties, but we seem to be quite comfortable so far. 1-0 up, no more highlights. They are well ahead of us on XG, but we're not going to get bogged down in XG. Let's pump the fists, get them out there for this second half, hopefully doing more fancy things. And then, yeah, we never have to talk about Lazio again until, of course, tomorrow's episode. Because on tomorrow's episode, we'll have the reverse fixture of this. We'll have another Premier League game as we continue to try and get into that Premier League title race, which I think we probably are already in. And then the home leg of this first knockout round game against Lazio as we try and progress in this tournament as well. But for now, Belotti's not really turned up today, so Vardy can come on for him. Johnny Evans struggling a little bit at left back, but we don't have anybody who can come on and play there, because if we did, let's face it, Johnny Evans wouldn't be playing at left back to begin with. We'll take off Tielemans and bring on Maddison in midfield. That seems like an acceptable substitution for now. James Maddison had been a nailed-on starter for us up until, again, this run of form that we've been on over the last 6 weeks or so. Declan Rice, Renato Sanchez, both become really important parts of the team, although neither of them playing particularly well today. So maybe Maddison and Ndidi will force their way back in after all. We've had, goal aside, we've actually been quite poor today, but it doesn't really matter as long as we win the game and as long as we don't mess things. I can't imagine throwing away a lead against Lazio. That would be ridiculous. But they are in here, and luckily we've got Donnarumma in goal, who is quite good at doing goalkeeping, which is very, very handy. And where's the ball there? That ball. Okay, I couldn't see the ball. I thought the ball was in the back of the net. That was weird. I don't know if the ball just wasn't there or if the ball was there and I was just being weird, but I couldn't see the ball. I didn't know what was happening. It was a goal kick, Kev. Couldn't see the football. And Donnarumma makes another save as we enter the final moments of this first leg. 90 minutes on the clock. There's another 4 minutes going to be added on to that. But Soyuncu heads clear from the corner, and Neres was in a race to try and get the ball clear. Presumably he didn't get there because we didn't get the counter-attack highlight. But importantly, we've come to Rome. We've beaten Lazio. Can't imagine any other outcome for a game like this. Happy, happy days. Imagine what the comment section is going to be after this episode. This episode has been as good an explanation as you're ever going to get about the Lazio thing. You just have to ask other people down there. They'll navigate you towards the video that supposedly exists. I refuse to acknowledge its existence. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.